You're on.
So, what was your life like before going into the military?
Before I went in the military, I was a 4-year varsity athlete. I was always in sports. I did okay in school, but I didn't care that much. And then as I got a little older, when I got towards college, I got in a lot of trouble. I was really good at getting in trouble. And I got kicked out of college in one semester. Tried living on my own, got in more and more trouble, and that's when I joined the military. So I was kind of good in high school, and then I was really going to get in trouble for a while. Before I got in, I had a bad attitude.
Why did you enlist?
I enlisted at first just because it was a way out of the lifestyle that I was living. I knew that my trouble was going to catch up to me in some pretty big ways pretty fast. So I wanted to get out of where I was. I had racked up a lot of debt from when I was in college. I had scholarships, and they took those away and actually made me pay them back. And I moved into an apartment, and I took out a student loan to pay for that, and I just had a lot of debt and a lot of trouble. So the military was a good way, it was the quickest way for me to get away from where I was and away from the people I was with, to catch up on the debt, and just to make a change, to mature as a person, and to get myself out of that cycle and that mentality.
How did your family feel about you going to war?
My family they were not happy with me. They were upset. The assignment that I took was actually a volunteer basis, and I was selected because of my high performance throughout my career. I got selected. It was a very high visibility mission. So they were upset. They were not happy with me for volunteering for that in the first place. But they were still supportive. They went along with everything, and they helped me with everything, and I would say it was the hardest for my mom. I think it was harder for her than it was for me, being over there, and the whole time before and through all the training, and they were always very supportive, but it was really, really difficult on them. So, but communications over there helped a lot though too. I mean, internet most places helps a lot. So yeah, they didn't feel good about it.
What comes to mind when I say the word Afghanistan?
When you say Afghanistan, just experiences come back to mind. A lot of stress, anger. You kind of remember the feelings of being over there. There's a lot of good times, but when I think about it, I think of alarms. When I hear a lot of noises, remind me of it too. But it brings back a lot of that stress and a lot of just frustration and anger, and you leave a lot of stuff behind when you're there. You're never done. I just remember kind of the living conditions, the heat. And the crazy cold. It was like 130 in the summer in the south, and when I moved up north it was like -5, and there was 2 feet of snow, and the extremes, and just the hostility, I guess, overall, physically, emotionally. You just kind of remember what it was like. Brings it back, the food, everything. Nothing's too much fun from over there, but it does it. It kind of rekindles the experience, and it brings back those memories, almost like I'm back there again. It's an interesting thing. I've only been back since July, so it's still pretty fresh for me. But it's slowly adjusting back and becoming more and more of a distant thing for me. But it's still pretty fresh right now. So.
Describe a typical day in the military.
A typical day in the military, where I was before I deployed, when I was on a ship, for me, it was generally, we would show up at 7:30 for muster, which is where we all come out on the flight deck on the back of the ship, and we all line up. They take accountability, and they give us, the lowdown for this is what's going on for the day. If there's any big ship's projects or anything that's involved anybody, they'll give us the lowdown on that. But usually it wasn't, and then you split off into your departments. So I would split off with my department head, and they would give you our specific, this is what we want to do today, and this, that, and the other. And from there, I mostly ran my shop. So for me, it was pretty much run and go. You're always in a uniform, shave every day, the haircut thing, all that stuff. Being on a ship, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so we would eat breakfast there before muster, and then I would do my work until lunch, eat lunch, and all that stuff, and work. And then if you wanted to stay, sometimes you had to stay late, sometimes you didn't.